Good morning, everybody. Are we live on the mall?
Yep.
God, you've done that very organised this morning, Deirdre. So, big welcome, everybody, and happy Friday. And welcome to the Case Flower School live class, the 11 a.m. and we're not too bad. We're actually only a minute or two late this morning. So I think first things first is everybody give us a little introduction, where you're watching in from, and let's do the weather forecast. Haven't done the weather forecast all week. So it's absolutely peeing rain in Dublin, I have to say. It's stopped at this particular moment, but it has been a lousy, wet, miserable, damp, horrible morning. So what's it like around the country? And if you are watching maybe from a sunny part of the world, let us know. Have we anyone from Australia or New Zealand watching in, and probably they're getting the sun shining there. So what's the story there, Deirdre?
So yeah, we've a good few pictures. Facebook has come very fast with lots of people watching,
so
and Instagram, so they're all waiting for you to start.
Right, so today I'm going to do a very simple arrangement with you, but bear with me, because I'm then going to show you how we can kind of like expand it and make something a little bit different. So make sure you have your notebook and pen ready, that you can take a few notes, but also the important thing with this class is make sure that you click share. So while you're watching there, just go and click share, and that helps then to boost us on Facebook and also for our Google Analytics. So what do you need to make this arrangement? First of all, you need a posy dish. And this is one of the larger size posy dishes, and it holds a third of a block of floral foam on the inside. But what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to use a half a block of foam, and I'll show you that it'll fit. And most of these dishes can be bought in your local flower shop or your local garden centre. If anybody is stuck and there isn't a florist near you, you could go to our website, flowerschoolisland.com, look down under the floral sundries button, and you'll see there where you can purchase these containers. Now, what I like to do with the floral foam, so I already have the half a block of foam and I have it soaked already. It takes between 60 to 100 seconds to soak up water, and the best thing to do is drop it into the basin of water and let it go down itself. The worst thing you can do is push it. If you push it, it gets airlocks, or it gets all little dry patches on the inside. Now, I'm using a florist knife. A knife at your kitchen press will do the exact same job. And what I'm going to do is just go around and I'm going to take the four corners off it first.
Okay, so the weather seems to be miserable all over Ireland.
Over.
Everyone from Cork to Kerry to Meath. However, we have Colleen who's watching in from Australia, and she says it's roasting hot.
All right, well, fair play to you,
Enjoy
Colleen.
it.
You're making us mad jealous here, so absolutely enjoy it. And thanks a million for joining. So make sure that you share us, Colleen, because we do have a lot of followers in Australia, but again, we're trying to build it up. So what I've just done there, as you can see, is I've trimmed around, and I've also trimmed the corners off the top of the foam. I find, not everybody does that, it's kind of a habit I have, but I do find when I'm inserting the material, it makes it easier to insert it when you don't have them sharp corners. Now, as I said, the posy dish is a third indent on the inside, but I'm going to squash the half a block, you see, just by pressing it down into it. And then I'm going to use my anchor tape. Now, sometimes people ask me, is there a difference between anchor tape and pot tape? There is a difference. Anchor tape is much stronger, so I'd recommend that you use anchor tape rather than pot tape. I'm going to use 2 pieces of tape going across this, and if you've ever watched me before, sometimes I'm inclined to put it right across the centre of it. But with this particular arrangement today, I want to stand a candle in the centre, so I'm avoiding the centre with the anchor tape. Now, I wanted a gold candle for this design, but I hadn't got a gold candle. I only had a white candle. But what I used was one of the sprays, you know, the aerosol sprays, and Lidl and Aldi, Mr. Price, as Mrs. Price as I call it, and Deals, they all have the aerosols. Mr. Deals, they all have the sprays they have, and they're around between $1.59 and $3.49. It depends on the shop that you go into. So buy a tin of the aerosol, gold or silver, lash it onto it there. I have a candle holder placed on the end of it, and that way then I can sit it down into the centre. So there's our candle. I probably could do a little bit more of a dash of spray there, but it's a handy little trick if you don't have a gold candle. Any colour candle that you have is you can just spray it. Now, foliage wise, the foliage that I'm using is all foliage that we have bought in from our growers here in Ireland. It's all Irish grown foliage, and we bought it in wholesale. But you could go into your local flower shop and they will sell you a mixed bunch of foliage. Or listen, on your way out for a little walk in the pea and the rain, why don't you bring your scissors with you and a plastic bag and see what you can forage when you're walking along the streets. So what I'm using is a little bit of eucalyptus, which I absolutely love, and the scent of it is amazing. A little bit of the silver Sussex, or the Sussex silver, I'm inclined to say it backwards, and that's a great lasting foliage because it just dries out. So does the eucalyptus, by the way. And then to give it a little bit of a Christmassy theme, I'm going to use some of the Nobilis, or the Christmas spruce. And again, the scent of that would be really amazing. But for anybody watching, you can substitute it for whatever foliage you happen to be able to get your hands on. So even in your own garden, if you have some wild ivy, if you have hebes, if you have pittosporum, euonymus, eleagnus, to be honest, all of them foliages can be used. And if somebody has something else growing, just put it in the comments below, and Deirdre can just kind of like ask me, and I can tell you whether it'll work.
And just Tricia wanted to know if you spray it, can you light it?
You can, yeah, you can. And I'll show you. No, everybody worries about that. No. Hang on till the
It's
end.
the aerosol in the spray that is flammable,
like
not
you were
the
spraying
paint.
the aerosol and you put your lighter on, well then whoosh. But like it's absolutely fine. No, it works out grand, it does. And I light it at the end just to show you. So we're going to have a couple of giveaways today. So again, remember to click and share there and listen carefully because there'll be a question. So if you were watching a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was a good few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like it was
in
early
autumn.
October.
Remember I did an autumnal wreath and I used all the wheat and I said it came from Sligo. And it was a lovely girl down in Sligo called Sally Siggins. And she sent me up a box of this wheat. I thought it was barley at the time, but I was corrected and it was wheat. And I made, well, I thought it was a fabulous door wreath, an autumnal door wreath, using wheat that was all sourced from Sligo. And I may have said to you that Sally has her own page on Facebook and on Instagram. It's called Sally's Scenes of Sligo. Remember that. But she does calendars. And I ordered some from my own house, but she sent me up a couple of them. So I actually have I have 3 of them. There's 3 calendars.
All right.
One for each page. So that's brilliant. I won't take them all out. Okay. So she sent me up 3 calendars to give away. So one on Facebook, one on Instagram, and one on YouTube. Now these calendars are brilliant, and I'm not just saying that, but why I ordered it, I don't know about you, and I know like my son says, why would you not do it on a Google Calendar? No, I absolutely love these calendars that you have the boxes and you can fill in dentist appointments, you know, that way we're off work, kids have a half day, such a thing as your deadline. I just love the boxes that you can fill in. But obviously because her company, our business is called Sally's Scenes of Sligo, all the photographs are of Sligo, you know that way. Now you may know my husband is from Sligo, so there we have our Ben Bulben Mountain, and always my son is called Ben. And you know when you have a baby and people say, who did you name him after? I named him Ben because I loved the name Ben. But sure, I had to tell the mother-in-law at the time I named him after the Ben Bulben Mountain. So we're going to have 3 of these calendars to give away, and there's also a Christmas card. See if I can find it handy here. So there's a couple of Christmas cards here as well. And again, it's the Ben Bulben Mountain covered in snow. And they fabulous Christmas cards. So you'll be able to contact Sally yourself and you can purchase one if you're interested in doing it. And I'm not sure if Sally is watching today, but if she is watching, she might put up the link. So what we need you to do is start tagging, put the @ Sally's Scenes of Sligo. Make sure you go over to Instagram and you go over to Facebook, and she's also on Twitter as well, and you can follow her
And
over there.
we will, and I think she's a YouTube channel with all her.
She has got a YouTube channel.
So
yeah.
anyone on YouTube can
Because
follow her
she
there.
does these drone videos, and like they're just fascinating, and especially if you're from the country or if you're from a farming background, you will really enjoy her videos. So I have some spruce here. It's probably cut about 20 centimetres in length, and what you need to do is pull off the needles at the side. Place has just been hoovered and cleaned here. But what you do is you pull off the needles, don't throw them on the floor or whatever, and you make sure that your stem is nice and clean. Now I have about 7 of these pieces, okay? So what I'm going to do is work my way around the edge of the dish. Now the turntable is great for this. We're out of the turntables at the moment, but you can pre-order them, you can. So when you're holding the spruce, place your hand on top like that while you insert it, you see, into the floral foam. And that way then you'll get your spruce to kind of hang down kind of a little bit more natural. Where I find a mistake people do is they hold it like that with their hand underneath it. So when you go to insert it, can you see the way it sticks up in the air? So that's a good tip for you when you're doing flower arranging. Hold your hand on top, you know, the way, and as I said, kind of place it upwards into the foam. Now you can leave a little bit of space. I've actually put them a little bit too close together.
Janette, we're not the only ones who likes to write on calendars.
All right, that's good. Well, I'm glad, you know that way, because like when I ordered, as I said, 2 of the calendars, one for work here and one for in the house. And I'm saying to my son, I says, I absolutely love these. I love the layout of the calendar. Never mind the photographs, but it's just the layout of the calendar. And he was saying, why would you not use Google Calendar or whatever he was calling it? And I says, no, because I like to look at a month and see, I have a dentist appointment, I have this appointment, or the kids are off school. I just like to see it in black and white. I'm probably a little bit old-fashioned. So I'm working my way around the edge of the dish. I didn't mean to leave a little bit of a space in between them. Some of them I put them a bit closer. But listen, it doesn't matter. I was chatting away about the calendars and I wasn't concentrating. So I now have a couple of little pieces of eucalyptus. And what I was planning to do was in between the spruce was to kind of do something similar, and that's what I'm doing. Again, you can see I'm using the hand on top technique as I insert the eucalyptus. And just again placing a couple of pieces, maybe in between the spruce, wherever I can get it in anyway, around the edge of the circle, as I call it, around the edge of the base of your posy arrangement. So as I said, this is a very simple posy arrangement, and it's something that you could copy at home yourself, and again, substitute the foliage for stuff that you have grown in your own garden. Now if you do have any questions, like feel free to post the questions there in the comments, and then Deirdre can just call them out to me.
Okay, just a quick update on the weather. It's shite in Manchester, it's shite in Roscommon.
That's been very nice when I said it was pee and rain, you know that way, because you know I have been pulled up a couple of times when I say the weather is shite in Dublin, you know that way, but it is shite, like let's be completely honest.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Let's call a spade a spade, exactly.
Again, they're all of the same thing. They love a real calendar and they love to write on a real calendar.
So we're going to have 3 of them calendars to give away. So one on Facebook, one on Instagram, and one on YouTube, okay?
Oh,
now,
it's shite in County Antrim as well, just to let you know.
Brilliant. And we'll have to think of a question to pick the winner, we will. But what we'll be wanting you to do is go over and follow Sally. Not now, you're not to move anywhere here. Is go over and follow Sally on Facebook and on Instagram. Because like fair play to her, you know the way that she sent these on. And I think she was hoping to get them to us when we were doing the Look Good, Feel Better.
Right.
She was sending them on as a sponsorship prize at the time, but she was waiting on them.
I see Beth is on here from Eastern USA. And I must say, anybody in the States that have Irish connections, it's a fabulous present to get somebody.
It would be a fabulous present, you know, that way to give somebody that would, you know, that, especially the west of Ireland.
Oh, and by the way, it's shite in Sligo and Donegal as well.
Okay, who's watching from Sligo? Is it Sally?
It's gone past now.
So what I'm just doing here is with just narrow little pieces of silver Sussex. You can see the way I've just went around the edge of the container there and just kind of made a little bit of a frill. And this is all just for textures, you know, the way shades of green. Again, as we say in Ireland, 40 shades of green. So the dark green of the spruce, the bluey green of the eucalyptus, and the silver green of the silver Sussex. Now I'm going to hold this up, and this is going to piss water when I hold this on its side there. But can you see the effect of it there? Just as I say, kind of a rough casual circle around the outside. I measure nothing, you know what I mean? And that's something that you'll notice here. And even though I might say to you a certain measurement, like there's none of them pieces exactly the same. I'm very casual about it, and I really think when you're doing flower arranging, it looks more natural if you keep everything kind of casually, you know what I mean? Don't measure them off each other. Just say it's roughly that size, and it's roughly that size. Now, what I have next is a couple of small little pieces of knoblis. Now, again, to save time, I have them all cut and trimmed already. Now what I want you to do is working around the candle, okay, is place the little short little pieces. These are probably about 12 centimetres or so. So place them in on a slant or an angle. No particular number. So in case any of my students are watching and they're saying, oh God, is she putting in 3 pieces or whatever, don't even think numbers, okay? I'm just randomly putting in, and I'm going to put in 4 just to show you that it doesn't have to be an uneven number.
Okay, Aisling Kennedy's on. She says it's beautiful in Crumlin Hospital, looking out at the rain, watching your video. So I hope you're working in the hospital, Aisling, and you don't have a patient there. If you do, I hope they're well. Life at number 2, how do you re-wet your oasis after it's made?
So what I do normally is, I have a cup of tea here, but we just say you have a cup of water, I'm not going to pour this, is place that in your sink, it's the handiest thing, or go outside and place it on the ground, on the grass or on the footpath or whatever. But inside the sink or the end of your shower basin or the end of the bath, or even if you have one of them draining boards at the side of your sink. And very, very, I'm not going to pour this because this is tea, right? So very, very slowly pour the water in the very centre of the foam and do it really slow. And what happens then is the water goes down into the foam. And that's another reason I find when I cut the corners off, where if you leave the foam and it's kind of squared, the water pees off the sides. Where when you cut the corners off, it's more inclined to soak down into the foam. I keep pouring the water until, you know, you can't see it now, but the little dish filled up with water. And you've seen it did fill up with water, because when I held on its side, all the water fell on the floor there, when we have a non-slip floor here, in case the one from the hospital is worried about me.
Mary Burns says...
Is Mary Bourne the famous Mary Bourne, is
No,
it,
she's Burns.
Oh, Mary Burns.
I'm sure Mary Bourne watches this as well.
She does, when she's not at Tesco's. Of course she does.
Good morning to you both. Can you use rosemary instead of silver Sussex?
It would be absolutely gorgeous, and the scent of it would be fabulous.
They're finding it hard to get silver Sussex.
Yeah, a lot of people are finding, and if there is any garden centres watching, so if Yvonne from Mylands Garden Centre is watching, or any other garden centre, let us know, are you selling silver Sussex, and are you able to ship it around Ireland? And if you are, put your details underneath there. I'm sure lots of people, because it's a
any garden
vote.
centres, yeah.
Any garden centres that's watching, or even flower shops. So what I did there with the spruce was I had about 4 pieces going around the candle there, slightly on an angle. And then while I was talking there, you can see the way I just stepped down slightly, and again with them shorter pieces, and I just made another row of foliage.
Kathy Collins says, she's, hi, I'm new to your site. Look, well, what have I been missing all this time?
What do you mean? What do you mean you haven't been following us, Kathy?
She is now. She's a new follower.
Every Friday at 11 a.m. we always have a free live class. And as I said, we try and work at that. We're on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
And actually on YouTube at the moment, and I keep forgetting to look up at the messages, but we've 20 people watching us on YouTube.
Mac, we're increasing there, aren't
so
we?
I think I have a little extra prize for YouTube.
Are you?
Yeah, I have a little soft spot for YouTube now, I do, yeah.
She's trying to build up our YouTube followers, there she is. So what I have now is just short little pieces of silver Sussex. So around the candle, where I had them 4 pieces of spruce, kind of like more or less in between them there, I've just put in 4 little pieces of the eucalyptus. You see how it's building up? And now I'm going to work my way down, if you want to call it the middle row. So we had the outside row, we had the row around the candle, and now kind of like the middle row. And I'm now going to stick in a few little pieces of eucalyptus all the way around. So back to you.
We have a more, she's on from South Africa, and she says it's hot and humid.
I say it is. Welcome, and what about giving us a share over there in South Africa and see can we get any more followers. And you never know, they might invite us over on holidays when they see how sad it is here in Ireland with the terrible weather, and it's raining all the time and it's wet. And I know we do have lots of grass and lots of green and so on, but it's it would depress you, the weather. So I'm just keep turning this around, and you can see there I'm just sticking in a couple of little pieces of eucalyptus. I call it, when I'm explaining this to the students, I'd say like look for your cop-on spots. In other words, your eye will be kind of drawn towards an area, and wherever you see it, just go and stick in a few little pieces. Now next what I have is a couple of little pieces of the silver Sussex. But again, the girl who suggested the rosemary, this will be absolutely fine. But again, if you have any other texture of foliage or different colour foliage, like variegated pittosporum or variegated euonymus, or the iliadnus with maybe with a little bit of yellow on it. Now, some of these pieces are a little bit longer, so I'm going to place them around the middle area. And the kind of smaller pieces then, when I find a smaller piece, I'll come in kind of closer to the candle. So again, I'm just kind of turning it around, and I'm allowing the silver Sussex to kind of be spiky and like let it stick out of the arrangement, and that gives like a little bit of movement to it, because I'm not going to use any flowers in this arrangement, okay? Now I have a few other little things to add in, but no flowers whatsoever. So the great thing about it is it's going to last for absolutely ages. And as I said, the silver Sussex and the eucalyptus, they will just dry out. So even when they're dead, they still actually look okay. And the spruce lasts for ages. You could get 3 to 4 weeks out of the spruce before it'll actually start to go brown. So if you were to make this even the beginning of December, but even if you wanted to make it next weekend for the toy show, you know, if you have your Christmas tree up and a couple of little decorations, again, it'll still be absolutely perfect. I'm coming in close to the candle now, and again, I'm adding in a few of them skinny little bits of silver Sussex around the candle.
Everyone is loving it just with the foliage. They're mad about the foliage.
Stay with me, because I've loads more to show you, and this is going to be like the show that keeps giving. It's going to get nicer and nicer. So whatever you do, don't switch off, and keep clicking share. Even if you click share already, go and share it again there, and let's get the word out there for me.
Maria Cairns on YouTube says day 7 of isolation, getting there. But
are you sick? Are you close contact? Is that's what's up with her?
she
is
can't
it?
wait to get out for a
Oh,
walk
please
with.
God, now you're okay.
Okay, Rosemary on Facebook is loving us. Patricia is watching in from New Jersey in the USA. She didn't say what the weather was like, but Maxine says it's shite in Scotland. Jackie wants to know, she loves watching the videos. Would you do maybe a long table arrangement for Christmas? Mandy
So anything for you, Jackie, no problem.
Mandy in North Wales is the weather is shite as well. Olga, would you spray rosemary, say silver, and use it that way?
You could, yeah, you could actually do that. And like, to be honest, any of the foliages, there is an Oasis brand. You know the way I'm always calling a block of Oasis, but Oasis is the name of a company that makes floral foam. And they have an aerosol spray, which you can spray on fresh flowers and fresh greenery, and it doesn't harm it at all. But it is very expensive. Now the thing is, we have used Mrs. Price and Mr. Price, as we call it. We have used them aerosol sprays and the Lidl and Aldi sprays on our fresh greenery in the past, and we've even used it on the flowers, and it has caused no harm whatsoever. So I don't know whether Oasis is talking out our bums, you know what I mean, but the other sprays work fine.
Now, poor Catherine. Everyone thinks the weather is bad outside. Try and be in my house. I'm getting new windows and doors. Now, I think she deserves something little small in the post. I think we might.
Little highlight.
I think Catherine, we're going to.
She checks our new calendar. So when she gets in contact with Sally, I love these highlighters, and these are all personalised case flower school, and you have and they're in the shape of a flower, and you have your 5 different colours. So you know on your calendar, you can kind of, like what I'm inclined to do is the holidays are marked a certain colour, you know the way, and important appointments are marked certain colours. So you're getting a highlighter pen seeing that you've no windows in today.
Catherine, send us a PM or DM with your address, and tell us what you won, will you please, as well. Jolene is on from the US and in Virginia, and she's like, thanks a million. She loves the cheeky, sweet attitude.
Thanks a million. And remember, click share. Because we know when you share, so don't be telling us you share, because it comes up in front of us whether you've shared or not. Now, while Deirdre's just having a look there, I have a couple of pine cones and I have them wired. Now, we use the 20 gauge wires to wire the pine cones, okay? And how we do it is close down on the petals, on the open petals of the pine cone, stick the wire in between the petals, leave a little bit of the wire sticking out there. I'll just hold my hand behind it. The longer piece of wire then wrap in between the petals until it comes around and it basically meets the other short bit of wire that you left sticking out. And with the tops of your fingers, 2 twists and stop. Now what happens at home is you will keep twisting, 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 twisting until every bit of wire is cut in, and you're going to find that you'll actually tear the skin on your finger. And after you do about 10 or 12 of them, your finger will be red raw. So 2 twists and stop. There's absolutely no need. And what a good idea to do is when you're sticking the cone into the arrangement is if you bend up the wire at the end, like you can cut it shorter obviously, make a little bit of a hook, and that way it won't slide out of the arrangement.
Olga just said it froze. Could you do that again?
Could I do that? Is she serious?
So yeah.
Okay, so we get a 20 gauge wire. This is for Olga where the Wi-Fi is obviously frozen. Is get your pine cone, look for the lower petals where it's open, place the wire in between the lower down petals, like I'm leaving about, I'm going to say 2 inches, so about 4 or 5 centimetres sticking out. The longer piece of wire that's left over, wiggle and wangle, as I just say, in between the petals all the way around till it meets the other bit of wire. Do you see that sticking out? And with the tops of your fingers, 2 twists, 1, 2, and stop. And what you're not to do is twist, 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 because you'll graze the top of your finger. You can then cut the wire shorter if you want to, but put a little hook at the end of the wire before you stick it into the foam, and it stops the sliding out.
Okay, Sally has just joined us, and
she's... Where were you, Sally? You know we'd be on at 11 o'clock on, and we're after being here plugging your calendars here all
and she has posted the link, so anyone that wants to buy the Sally Siggins Scenes of Sligo calendars.
I think, is it €10, Sally, am I right? I know they're very reasonably priced, and I really do think, like, as well as getting one for yourself, you know, that way, like, is to have one to give as a present to somebody. And I think, like, anyone that has anybody overseas, I really think they would love it. Like, it is a nice present, you know. The photographs are amazing, and she's taken the photographs herself. And she's only I actually don't know what age Sally is. She only looks like a little kid, but she's very young. So it is great to see somebody like starting off their own little business, you know, that way. And she's doing like all her little drone videos. And I think she's in college part-time as well. So like, fair play to you, Sally.
So, and on that note, then I think we will announce the question for to win the calendars.
To win the calendar. What's the question going to be?
I think is, where is Sally's Scenes?
So what county is it in? So what county is Sally's Scenes of... Where is she? What county is she based in? Remember, my husband is from the same county and we have to promote it.
And we're going to go with the 20 dancer on both Instagram and Facebook.
So Instagram, Facebook.
And on YouTube, I will pick a number.
We'll pick a lucky number. Yeah. Okay. So there's our arrangement. I'm not finished. So there's our arrangement so far, and I probably put about 8 or 9 cones into that. And again, you could leave it like that. It's very natural, do you know the way? And it's not going to cost an awful lot of money. But listen, no expenses spared. So what I have next is some cinnamon sticks. Now, I'm a bit lazy today. These cinnamon sticks was already made in bunches. But like, people were asking me about the cinnamon sticks. The food shops now, I'm not talking Dunn's or Super Value where you buy a little jar of cinnamon sticks, you know what I mean, and they're expensive and there's about 3 cinnamon sticks in it. If you go into, I'm going to say the Polish shops, right, but there's probably other nationality shops. But you know the types of shops that I mean? There's one on, what's that street where you get the Lewis?
Camden Street.
No, at the back of the Jervis Street Shopping Centre.
Mary Street, is it?
No, Mary Street's in front of the Jervis Street. When we get the Lewis home from town. Somebody think of the name of the street, you know where I'm talking about. And there's a big, I think it's a Polish shop, and you can go in there and you can buy a huge bag of cinnamon sticks, obviously for cooking with, you know, that way, and they're very reasonably priced. Wrap a little bit of raffia straw or hand-tied twine or household twine around it, and again, just loop a wire through it, and then you'll be able to add your cinnamon sticks, you see, into the arrangement, and you can press them down as much or as little as you want. And again with the wires, I find if I do a little hook at the end of the wire before I insert it, it just grips the oasis better. Because what happens is if you stick a wire in and it's straight, because these are quite heavy, you know, they're not real heavy, but what will happen is the weight of it will actually pull it out of the floral foam. So that's why I actually put the hook at the end of the wire. So there I have like 3 little bunches of cinnamon sticks, you see, going around the candle, and I have a couple more left here on the table, and I'm just going to add them in around the bottom part of the arrangement. And again, you can just leave it at the 3, you don't have to put as many in as I'm putting in. And again, I'm not really following any system, I'm just turning it around and trying to kind of balance it out. So there we have a couple of cinnamon sticks around the very bottom, and again, you could leave it like that. But this time I have a couple of the orange slices. Now we bought the orange slices.
Can I just say, we have a winner on Facebook, but we haven't hit the 20 dancer on Instagram. So if anybody wants to go over and enter on my Instagram, you can.
Absolutely. So it's the 20th answer on Instagram, okay? And what county is Sally Scenes from? And you're going to win one of them fabulous calendars. And we're also going to do it on YouTube as well, so make sure that you're posting on YouTube. But back to our orange slices. You can dry out the orange slices yourself as well in like a low kind of temperature oven. It does take a long time. But what I would suggest is if you were making meringues, now does anybody make meringues?
Abbey Street.
Abbey Street, that's the name of the street. I had a complete blank on it. Fair play. Did somebody think of it? Or
yeah, no, somebody came.
Fair play to you. Thanks a million. So I again have these orange slices wired with one of the 20 gauge wires kind of like basically hooked through it. And again, before I stick the wire down into the floral foam, you can see the way I'm bending up the little wire before I stick it in. And again, that helps to grip it. So this will give a lovely citrus kind of scent coming from the arrangement. The cinnamon sticks are giving you that lovely spicy. You have the eucalyptus scent, you have the spruce scent. So literally this arrangement, the smell of it is going to be amazing in your I'm going to say your living room, your sitting room, whatever you're going to display it. And again, you don't have to add all these things in. If you haven't got them, like, you can leave some of it out. And for anybody maybe asking, like, all flower shops will sell you the materials, you know what I mean, to make up this arrangement. So just make a list of them. And again, if we have any flower shops watching there, like, please post up the tag of your flower shop and make it that, you know what I mean, that you, like, put up your details. So if somebody wants to contact you to purchase the items that they can, I'm just going to put another one in over here.
Actually, again, somebody's asking about the silver Sussex again.
The planting of it or substitute?
No, where did you get it?
So again, have we any garden centres? I know there's probably a lot of comments in there and it's hard for Deirdre to follow them. But if there is any garden centres watching anywhere in Ireland, okay, please put up your link. Put up a sign to say yes, that you're selling the silver Sussex, and especially if you will post them out, you know, the way people would really appreciate it, because we're always getting lots of people asking us about it.
Okay, Jen Morris is on. Jen,
she's too dolly. Yeah. She's not too dolly anymore.
She says she's missing us this year.
Actually, Jen, your photograph popped up in my memories today, because this time last year we were what was the false tan called?
Oh, the Saint-Tropez.
Saint-Tropez false tan, and you were all making the Christmas wreaths. Do you remember with the colour of the Saint-Tropez? So what I have here now is our little Christmas robin, as me gorgeous. But if you don't like robins, you can leave them out. I love the robin. I really think it kind of like makes their arrangement. Get down there, you little fecker, yeah. I just have a little wire wrapped around his ankles there, just to stop him flying away. And there's our little Christmas. Now don't go, because we're not finished. I have loads more to show you. If you count your winners there?
Yeah, no, I have my winners.
Okay.
Okay, so our winner on Facebook is Lorna Ritchie.
Okay,
so
congratulations, Lorna. So you've won one of them calendars. Message us with your address and we'll get it out of the post to you. And the answer was obviously Sligo. Sally's Scenes of Sligo. Make sure that you go over and follow her page later on.
And on Instagram, it was Sinead14.
So Sinead14, you're the winner. So again, message us, send us your name and address, obviously.
And I can't do YouTube until I get off YouTube, until I stop going live, because I can't see all the messages.
Okay, so we will sort this out YouTube.
They're absolutely loving the arrangement. They love the way you make it so simple to explain how to do it.
That is a very simple. And remember, if you have shared this post, this little video, to your own Facebook page, you can always go back and you can look at it later. Now, I want to show you how we can do a lot more with that arrangement. So at the moment, that can sit in the middle of your dining room table, kitchen table, and it looks lovely, and we will light the candle in a little while. But what I have here is a wire ring. Now again, anybody that has followed me other weeks, okay, you've seen me use these wire. If I'm a bit shaky for a second, one of the batteries is going down there. So that side one, you know anyway which one it is. So Deirdre's just putting it on charge again. Yeah. So these wire rings, I normally make the door wreaths on. You know, you've seen me make the spring door wreaths and the autumnal door wreaths. So I'm going to show you something different. I do this every year. Hopefully I have a few new followers this year that didn't see me doing it last year. But basically what you do is you get your pine cones. And if anybody has any kids in the house, they will absolutely love this.
Jen Morris wants to know, is that what a wreath grows on?
What?
The ring.
Does the wreath grow on that? Absolutely. You pick it off the trees, Jen. So you get your pine cone, and anybody that likes kind of screwing, that's what you're doing, is you're screwing your pine cone in between the wires. Do you see the way it works? And then you just push it over to one side. And then you get your next pine cone. And believe it or not, they go clockwise, okay? So you get your pine cone, you stick it in between the rings, and you start screwing. And the bigger cones are better for this. And again, you just push it over in the bed to see beside the other one. And then you get up your next one, and again, you keep going. Now, there is the little bar in between the wire ring, but you'll find like it'll work its way out, you know what I mean? Is like putting in a bigger one and it'll slightly overlap. So can you see the effect so far? Now I have one in the oven already, and I'm not going to say that I did it myself because Deirdre pulled me up over this earlier on. So we have the lovely Leah in the office today, and she was free this morning, and I showed her what to do, and she couldn't believe how easy this was. So Leah screwed all these pine cones into our large ring. So can you see the effect that you get? Now if you find that they're a little bit loose, this is actually nice and sturdy, you know what I mean? So she's done an absolutely great job on it, okay?
They're loving this.
If you find that they're a little bit loose, you could get your real wire, you know the mossing wire that I used for mossing, here it is here, you know, for mossing up the wreath frames, and you could run just the wire around the side of it there, you see, in between the cones, and then basically twist it at the other side. I'll actually do it now that I'm halfway around. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just bringing the piece of wire around, and then I'm going to give this a little bit of a twist. There you go, keep twisting around. Spin, 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 spin. You can also put a bit of glue on it, but I have to say, you can see there, it's really, really secure. And then I'm going to cut off the real wire then that's left over, and then tuck it in underneath that you can't see it. Now somebody's going to say, how many combs
we had a big drop off in numbers when you finished off the
I told
Tosie.
us not to go.
But they're
I'm
back.
not even finished.
They're back.
Loads more to show
No,
you.
they're back.
Start, click and share. If I see it's not click and share, I'm going to bar you from watching next week's one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pine cones is what it took, okay? Now, my turntable's a little bit small for it, and I'm not finished, so stay fecking there, don't be moving, okay? But just to show you then, it's just to make this, okay, can you see the table if I do it off the turntable?
Yeah, they can, yeah.
Okay, so you can sit
just
this,
pull it back to you a little bit.
okay?
There you go.
And then get your arrangement, and can you see the way it'll sit just on top of it there to balance? Now somebody might say to me, well, what if it's that's a bit small and it's falling through the other side? What you could do is you could use wires and make like a little, like the bars on a bed to stop the mattress falling through. Do you know that way? So you could use wires, and I'm not finished.
No, we're up at 306 viewers.
Well, hang on, get it up to 400. So Leah was scratching her arse here this morning, and I said, sure, here you go, Leah, let's do a smaller one. So Leah has done this smaller one as well. So the idea is that the smaller one sits on top of the bigger one. Now, we haven't got time to do this. Again, get the real wire, because you can't see the real wire, and just overlap it a few times here and there, just see to join it together, right? So we'll have to pretend it's joined together, and this might wobble a bit on me, right? And I'm not finished, I have another one to show you. And then what you can do, you can sit that in the centre, and isn't that going to make a gorgeous table arrangement, you see, for somebody's house? And what started off as a very simple posy arrangement, a stupid posy dish as I like to call it, and again, how you can make it a little bit different, you know. Now, if anybody wants the wire rings or the real wire, we do have them for sale on our website under Floral Sundries, but again, check out your local flower shop, because their postage would be expensive to post them to you. Now again, I'm not finished. I have to say, Deirdre?
Yeah, well, Angela O'Brien says, well, Janette, I thought I'd seen it all, and it's true when you say that you've never know it all.
You never know it all.
They're absolutely loving
I will
this.
be the first one to put my hand up and say, I never know it all. I often get tricked here. Somebody asks me a question, and here I am. Just what is the answer to that question? You never know it all. And my advice to the students is that, and any florist that's out there, the day you think you know it all is the day to give it up, because you never know it all. But anyway, we're not finished. So when we were in the wholesalers, but listen, Lidl and Aldi have these candles as well. But
and IKEA.
Actually, this is where these are bought.
Yeah.
So these were bought in IKEA, okay? But Lidl, Aldi, you know what I mean, they have them as well. And our little reindeer, now we did buy this in a floral wholesaler, but again, you don't have to have the reindeer, but if somebody, I think kind of for a house. Now, I was planning on using this piece of wood here. Now again, we bought this in the flower wholesalers. But if any landscapers are out there, we're really looking for everybody here, aren't we? If you could get a landscaper and he could cut the trunk of a tree, but this fellow, when he was cutting the tree, he cut straight across. You want him to cut the tree on a 45-degree angle, so you know that you get like an oval shape. This one, your man was a bit drunk when he was cutting that one, but I need him even to go more on an angle. Do you understand that I kind of get an oval shape? So my boards aren't big enough for what I'm planning to do, okay? But just bear with me, okay? We're trying it this way here. So to one side...
And just before you start that, I just want to quickly say that we do still have somebody's asking, have we still got the wreath kits?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody that wants to do the make your own Christmas door wreath, you get a link to a video all step by step showing you all the tricks, where you can get all the stuff exactly. And there's a choice of colours. Go to the website flowerschoolireland.com and click on the Christmas button, and you can order your door wreath. You can organise to collect it next week. We'll have them all in fresh for you next week, or we can post them out to you, whatever you want. Now in the kit will be the link to make your own Christmas door wreath, but the following week, on the Thursday night and the Friday night, we're going to have it, and even if you haven't got the kit, you can join in. We're going to have a party night, because we always, when we came to our Christmas nights, we always had a few drinks here in the school. So me and Deirdre, will we bring Leah as well?
I'll be bringing Leah.
Done it, yeah. So we might have Leah here as well. We're going to have a couple of drinks here, and we're going to have like a live class Christmas door wreaths. You will be able to make your Christmas wreaths at home as well. We're going to do it on Zoom, on Instagram, on Facebook and YouTube. So it's going to be great crack. The 4th, the 3rd and the 4th. Is
3rd and the 4th.
Put that in your diary, on your new calendar.
On your new calendar.
On your new calendar, the 3rd and the 4th of December.
Anyone that buys the wreath has the option to join Zoom. They're the only ones that can join us on Zoom.
Grand. Yeah. Okay. So again, I would have preferred that this was a little bit more ovally, but I haven't. So can you see the way it just tell me to turn me candles on me?
No, that's all right.
Okay, is my reindeer okay? Will I stick that?
No, go back the way. Yeah.
There we go. Just I'm looking at it backwards here. So this is where you have then your table scape. And doesn't that look so much nicer? And it can be viewed from all angles. And hold on, we got our thing. Now, have you got the fire
Somebody
extinguisher?
says do not light the candle.
Have we got the fire extinguisher just in case? So this is just to prove that the gold spray, please God, will not go up on fire. There you go. So there is your very, very simple Christmas posy arrangement. We showed you then how to make like a very simple, you know, kind of base, just to make it a little bit posher looking, and then using a slice of wood. Now I'd say Sally down in Sligo, her dad's an old farmer there, and he might be able to get
a slice of wood.
Because I know she was supplying somebody last week with the wheat to make a wreath. So Sally, any trunks of trees down your way?
Trisha Kenny said mind your eyebrows.
Yeah, do you know what, the badly could be done, I tell you, the sooner the beauticians open up, I tell you, between that and my hair, thank God for hair bands to cover the roots.
Jenny Bombeni says, can we all wear sequins and glitter for the Christmas party?
You have to dress up. Wear your Christmas jumper, Jenny. That'll be the theme for the night. Everybody has to wear a Christmas jumper.
Carol Shaw says absolutely stunning.
Hi,
She
Carol,
loves it.
how are you? Carol Shaw is another great page to follow on Instagram.
Life with
Carol Shaw.
Life with Carol Shaw.
Put your link up there, Carol. And you know, she'd done a fabulous mantelpiece arrangement there last week. So again, follow her. And also, anybody that was on Instagram last night, Paul Kinsella, Life at Number 2, he showed how he did his Christmas garland. He is on our online Christmas program at the moment. And he done the garland coming down his banisters and trailing off the end of it. And also a couple of nights previous, he did his mantelpiece up. And I'm sure he has it all in his highlights. So you'll be able to watch it all. You know, that we said pop over. Again, Paul, put up the link to your page there. Are we finished, Deirdre?
I think we're done.
So I think we're done.
So those that won the prizes, make sure to drop us an email or a PM, a DM.
Go and click on the link and buy yourself a calendar and support Sally down in Sligo. She well deserves it. What are you laughing at?
I'm just going to read the rest of the message. Margaret Kavanagh, I'm crying laughing. You remind me of Del Boy in Only Fools and Horses. I'm not finished.
Which fella? Am I the small little fat one or the tall gonky looking skinny one?
I'm not finished yet. He's always throwing a few extra bits in. Yeah, no, they're all loving it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Listen, huge thanks for everybody joining in. We really, really appreciate it. We appreciate it more when you click share, you know, that way. And again, anybody that's in any flower arranging groups or flower arranging clubs, etc., please share it with your group members. We would really appreciate it.
Especially because they can't get out to their demos at the moment.
So this is our way of bringing like a free flower arranging class to your flower club. So share it with your flower club. Share it on your own page as well. As I said, that's really, really important. And everybody over in Australia and America and Africa, we definitely want you to share, and let's get the word out there.
So see you next Friday morning.
See you next Friday morning, and don't forget the Late Show next Friday night. Okay, so there has to be a Christmas arrangement.
Yes.
Will we wear the Christmas jumpers?
Christmas jumpers. No, Christmas starts next week.
Right, Christmas is starting next Friday, so it's going to be all Christmas. Wear your Christmas pajamas or your Christmas jumper. Friday, 11 o'clock. See you all. Bye bye. Have a great day.